Weather today. Three major winter storms are headed for the United States over the next 7 days, and we're expecting significant snowfall across areas like the Central Plains, the Midwest, the Ohio Valley, and even parts of the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast. In some locations, as much as 1 foot of snow could accumulate. Along with the snow, there's also a risk of ice accumulation, and we are keeping an eye on the return of severe weather, including the potential for tornadoes. In today's forecast, we will break down exactly what you need to know about these winter storms, including why there have been some big changes to the forecast for the winter storm expected Wednesday and Thursday. Starting with what's happening across the country right now, we have a huge area of moisture streaming from the Pacific Ocean into the central and southern plains. This is where we're anticipating our first big winter weather event to develop over the next 24 hours. As this moisture moves east, we expect a large winter storm to form in the mid-Atlantic and parts of the Northeast. After that, another winter storm will form Tuesday night and continue through Wednesday and Thursday. This will be the largest of the two storms over the next few days, with an extensive area seeing around 4 to 8 inches of snow, and some areas could see even more. The two winter storms. This week, the National Weather Service has already issued numerous winter storm watches, warnings, and winter weather advisories. Winter storm warnings are in effect across Kentucky, West Virginia, Virginia, Maryland, Delaware, and even southern New Jersey. The purple boxes indicate winter weather advisories stretching all the way back through Arkansas and Missouri. This is what we can expect tomorrow into early Wednesday. As for the next winter storm, it will start to ramp up tomorrow, but the biggest impact will be on Wednesday, affecting areas in the Central Plains, the Midwest, and parts of the Great Lakes. This storm will eventually move toward the Northeast late Wednesday night and into Thursday morning. Winter weather advisories are in effect for parts of Texas and Oklahoma where icing may occur. Now let's talk about the timing of these winter storms, starting with tomorrow morning. We are expecting a lot of rain in areas like Texas and Tennessee. A narrow band of heavy snowfall will stretch across Missouri, Illinois, Kentucky, and western Virginia. By lunchtime, that snow will intensify in northern Virginia, most of West Virginia, and parts of southern Ohio. Meanwhile, freezing rain and sleet will fall in the higher elevations of the Appalachian Mountains in southern Virginia, where icing could be a concern. This means slick roadways could make travel dangerous, so be cautious if you have plans tomorrow. By 3 p.m. to 4 p.m., the heavy snow will move into Maryland, Delaware, and southern New Jersey. Keep in mind that this is a narrow band of snowfall, so if you're just 20 or 30 miles north of the heaviest snow, you may not see much at all. The heaviest snowfall will be concentrated in a small area, and we'll show you exactly where that is in just a moment. By sunset, heavy snow will continue across Maryland, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and West Virginia, eventually reaching extreme southern New England during the overnight hours of Tuesday into early Wednesday morning. We won't have to wait long for the next winter storm. By Wednesday morning, we'll see a huge area of snow, freezing rain, and sleet. This winter storm has been intensifying significantly over the past 24 hours, which is why we're adjusting our forecast. We're back with an update because we've got some new snowfall accumulation numbers to share. Here's what we expect to see right around the morning hours on Wednesday at about 6 a.m. We're still talking about freezing rain and snow in the Ohio Valley and Mid-Atlantic, but it will be light. If any roadways are untreated, though, there could be some problems. Heavy snowfall will ramp up in Kansas, Missouri, and parts of Iowa and Nebraska by Wednesday morning. These areas, by the way, have barely seen snow this winter. In fact, many of these places have received less snow than southern Louisiana, which is hard to believe. As we approach 9 to 10 a.m., that heavy snow will continue to push north and east into parts of the Midwest. Meanwhile, freezing rain and sleet will fall across the Texas Panhandle, central Oklahoma, and parts of southern and southeastern Missouri. It could even reach as far south as the northern parts of Arkansas in higher elevations. By lunchtime, heavy snow will move into northern Missouri, northern Illinois, the Great Lakes, and Wisconsin. By the time we get closer to sunset, heavy snow will continue across Illinois, Michigan, and parts of the Northeast, while freezing rain and sleet will spread far to the north, reaching close to Detroit, central Indiana, northern Ohio, and western Pennsylvania. Notice how much warm air will be lifting northward, pushing the freezing line further north as well. This means we will also have a threat for severe weather, especially in the deep south, where damaging winds and possibly even a few tornadoes are possible. We'll dive into that more shortly. By midnight and just after, the storm will move across Michigan and start to affect New England. As we move into Thursday morning, snow, freezing rain, and sleet will spread across New England, including New York, before moving out later in the day. Before we talk about snowfall accumulation, I want to mention that there will be another winter storm this weekend. We'll touch on that in a moment, but bear with me. There's a lot to cover in this video. Let's begin with what we expect for snowfall from the first winter storm, which will affect areas tomorrow into early Wednesday. We anticipate a large area from Kentucky through Virginia and into Delaware and Maryland to see at least 1 to 3 inches of snow. For bigger population centers, I expect places like Louisville, Kentucky to get about 2 to 4 inches, Richmond, Virginia around 1 to 3 inches, and Roanoke, Virginia could get 6 to 10 inches. Baltimore could see 4 to 8 inches. Heading further north, snowfall totals are expected to decrease significantly, especially in places like southeastern Pennsylvania. Here's a closer view. There will be a large area with 4 to 8 inches of snow, and several locations could see up to 10 to 12 inches. So it's best to prepare for the higher end scenario just in case. The higher elevations in the Appalachian Mountains are expected to see 8 to 12 inches, and southern New Jersey and parts of Maryland will also see several inches. Washington, D.C. and southern New Jersey will likely get 3 to 6 inches, but some areas may get a bit more or less. This is just one model. If we look at the National Weather Service forecast, it's a bit further north. Keep in mind that even the smallest shift in where the heaviest snow falls could make a big difference in your snowfall accumulation. You could end up with 8 inches of snow or just 2 inches, depending on whether the heavy snow band shifts slightly south or north. Just in case you end up seeing 10 to 12 inches of snow, be prepared, especially in a few isolated locations. In terms of ice accumulation, we expect a large area from Pennsylvania down to North Carolina to experience some glazing of ice. However, several spots could see as much as 1/4 of an inch of ice accumulation. Back in the Ohio Valley and southern Missouri, ice will also be a concern as part of the next winter storm, which we'll discuss further now. Snowfall accumulation, what to expect? Well, here's a rough estimate of the snowfall accumulations we can expect from this winter storm. We're looking at a snow swath of 5 to 10 inches across parts of northern Kansas, northern Missouri, northern Illinois, and Michigan. Some spots, especially in northeastern Kansas, could get as much as 12 to 13 inches, with some areas in Missouri or Illinois possibly receiving up to 12 inches as well. However, in general, a large area will see 5 to 10 inches of snow. If you're hoping for snow further north or south, you're in luck. Most of Iowa is expected to get 2 to 4 inches of snow, but this could change as we get closer to the event depending on the storm's size. The latest forecast suggests this will be a very large winter storm, so expect 2 to 4 inches for most of Iowa, with the highest amounts further south. In northern Oklahoma and far southern Missouri, there may be just a light dusting of snow, but we're not expecting much. In northern Indiana and extreme northern Ohio, snow will transition quickly to freezing rain and sleet. So most of these areas will only see a light coating to 3 inches of snow. However, in extreme northwestern Indiana, we could see up to 8 inches of snow. On the other hand, the national blend of models is predicting a higher end scenario for the Central Plains, Midwest, and Michigan. While I don't think we'll see this much snow, there is a chance for an uptick in snowfall intensity, which could bring significant snowfall accumulation, possibly 8 to 12 inches in some areas. It's too early to be certain, but it's something we'll continue monitoring. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. We'll have another video update tomorrow morning. If there are any major changes to the forecast, we'll be the first to let you know. Ice accumulation, we're not expecting a full-blown ice storm anywhere in the southern plains or back through the Ohio Valley or Midwest, but there will be enough ice to create slick spots on untreated roadways, especially in Oklahoma and the Texas Panhandle, where up to 1/10 of an inch of ice is possible. Southern Missouri, northern Indiana, and Ohio are also expecting a glazing of ice, with 1/10 of an inch of accumulation in some places. Another big winter storm this weekend. Once this large winter storm moves out Wednesday into Thursday, things will calm down for most of the lower 48, except for the West Coast, where atmospheric river events are expected. The next big concern is the storm system developing on Saturday, which will track further east than Wednesday's storm. Areas like the Midwest, Great Lakes, and Northeast can expect the heaviest snow. For the Deep South and Southeast, we're forecasting heavy rain and a heightened risk of severe weather, including the potential for strong tornadoes. Saturday is going to be a day to watch, especially for those in the Deep South and Southeast. We'll likely be live on Wednesday and possibly again on Saturday, so make sure you're subscribed and click the bell icon to be notified when we go live. As we head into Sunday, this winter storm will move offshore and we'll see quieter weather for most of next week. Once we get past this weekend storm, things should calm down for the majority of the lower 48. Severe weather threat. The severe weather threat will begin on Wednesday with a slight risk in the Deep South and a marginal threat extending into southeast Texas and western Georgia. Damaging winds and a conditional tornado risk will be possible. By Saturday, we're already seeing a day 6 slight risk for severe weather, which is rare in areas like the Deep South and Dixie Alley. Several locations will face a threat of damaging winds, large hail, and even strong tornadoes, especially if prefrontal convection develops. Saturday will likely bring a squall line of storms with the potential for strong tornadoes in any convection ahead of the line. It's going to be a busy week, so be sure to subscribe to the channel for the latest updates. We'll have another video tomorrow and possibly be live on Wednesday and Saturday. Don't forget to click the bell icon to get notified when we go live and for our latest video updates.